Just started the recording.
You can close it a little bit, honey. Hey, you're here.
Hemi, you want to do a test here? Do you want to like make some noises and we'll all mute and just make sure that we can hear you right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, if everyone could mute. Oh, wait.
Hi, Roma.
Hi, Kellen. We're doing a quick sound check with Hammy, so we're all muted for the moment. But welcome. And Hammy, you're muted. I accidentally muted you when I was going through the list. I'm sorry.
All right, here, I'll do it again. How's that, Roma?
It sounds good, but if you could try to make more than one noise at a time, because that's when sometimes it'll cut out, like if you were to do a rain stick and the drum at the same time.
Yeah, I'm just going to use a flute and just a drum at different times.
Oh, okay. So we won't have to worry about that. Awesome.
The only sounds I'm going to be using is the drum and just the flute. So I can only play one at a time.
Okay.
Did the sound come through clear?
Very beautifully for me.
All right, perfect.
How about you? Okay. I hope everyone is having a great summer. I'm in Colorado right now, so it's a couple hours earlier. It's almost 6 o'clock here. And it's nice and cool. We might get a thunderstorm. This is the thunder moon. It seems like we get storms here every day, every afternoon for like a short amount of time. So that's fun.
How's the Ren Fair you've set up, right?
Yeah, I had my first opening weekend at the Ren Fair, and it went great. I have a really great team. Some friends of mine from Arizona came up, and they're working with me. My friend Mariana and her daughter, who's 17. And they're the perfect team. I couldn't ask for a better situation. Like the person I'm running from the booth from has been great. It's awesome. So,
My brother, his fiance, they're having their baby today.
today?
Yeah.
Oh, what are they doing for the birth? Are they at home? Are they at a birthing center?
No, they ended up being at a hospital. I guess there was some limited options with the whole COVID thing, so they're at some sort of maternity ward, I suppose, in a hospital.
Is that there in Arizona?
No, that's back in Florida.
Okay. All right, so it is 8 o'clock somewhere. We'll go ahead and get started. I have a presentation that I put together kind of at the last minute because I'd been so focused on getting my shop ready. So bear with me and excuse me. I only have a few slides. I thought we would do more active practice of breath work. It's called breath work for a reason, right? You got to do the work. Can't just talk about it. So we'll be doing some different breathwork practices today, and then the presentation kind of gives people who can't join something to look back on. We're recording it, so I've been posting on YouTube the recordings, and then I post the PDFs of the presentations also online on romanomad.com. And I've been putting them also in the New Moon Circles group. So lots of different ways to get there. So hopefully everyone has been finding them okay. All right, now I just have to find how to share my screen. Let's see. Boy. More. So audio stuff. Why can't I find share my screen? Oh boy, I hope it's not a setting that I turned off or something.
Do you see the green button, Roma?
I don't see a green button, which is
On
why.
the bottom of your screen?
Ah, now I do. I expanded it. It was too small. Okay, share screen. All right. There we go. All right. All right, so I can see can you guys see my screen? Can you see me okay? Cool. I see some thumbs up. Good.
Yeah.
All right. So this month is called the Thunder Moon. It gets its name because of so many thunderstorms happening during July. I know in history, I feel like every single 4th of July it always rains. But it's very common this time of year. The hot air and the movement of the clouds and moisture just causes everything to open up. And so it's called the Thunder Moon, but it also has the name of the Father's Moon. Last month we had the Mother's Moon, or also called the Flower Moon. So for the Father's Moon, or the Thunder Moon this month, we have Hamilton. He's our first male guest. These New Moon Circles had sort of started out as a women's only thing, and they were in person. They were the red tents. They were back before COVID when we were able to meet in person. And even though we're doing that now, I just wanted to keep this consistent this year and keep with the new moons being online so that everyone can, join from home. One of the things I noticed about some of the gatherings was I would pack up everything, like all my belongings in my living room and everything, and like bring them somewhere. And I just kind of felt like, wow, wouldn't it be nice if I could just like do this at home? And it's one of the benefits of this is not only can we join from different parts of the world, we have people from Arizona, Colorado, Maryland all on right now, but we can all practice from the comforts of our own homes. And you can choose to gather together like what Heather is doing with her friend there, and having people join you in person. So talking about the energy or the mood of the moon. So we're kind of going on this journey through the moon. And this is the book I mostly take from the Earth Time, Moon Time book. And hi, Ashley. Thanks for joining us. Just let Ashley and Keith in. Welcome. Welcome. All right, so the energy or the mood of the moon of the father's moon, we have in the last moon, the flower moon was summer, the mother's moon, we have this abundance like everywhere, summertime, and the living's easy. But now with the father's moon, we get a little bit of hard lessons and maturing. So all those baby animals are starting to learn how to walk, how to fly. They're getting some lessons. They're having to navigate predators. Some of the fruits and the vegetables that were all sprouting up in spring are now having to compete for sunlight and water. And some are dying off already. So these are the energies of the father's moon. It's like hard lessons, growth, and maturing. So a lot of times you think of mother's love as unconditional. No matter what, your the mother energy would like always welcome you and hold you, whereas the father's energy is a little more reserved. Maybe it's a slap of the wrist when a child goes to touch a fire, not understanding that the slap of the wrist was in love and protection. So that's the fatherly energy or the mood of the father. For the tarot cards, we have the Hanged Man, knowledge, which represents knowledge at a price. It's also, the Hanged Man is embodiment of the god Odin, who lost his eye. He gave up his eye for knowledge and sacrifice. So he hung upside down on the tree of life, Yggdrasil, for 9 days, and then sacrificed his own eye for wisdom. So sort of that energy, that Odin energy, that father's energy of struggle and overcoming strife. Enlightenment after struggle. So we have the sun, the intensity of the sun. It can bring light and it gives nutrients to the whole web of life. Our energy comes from the sun via plants or animals. It all comes from the sun. But at the same time, it's a scorching, too much is not a good thing. Also the fives in tarot. So whenever I see a 5 in tarot, I think like the hand of just stop. It's a struggle, pause. It's some kind of lesson or adjustment. So usually in tarot, 5s are like not fun, but necessary at times. So we have the protective energy of Cancer. This new moon is in Cancer, and also the sun. So when the moon is new, it's in the same exact sign as the sun. So we're in Cancer moon, Cancer sun right now. We're also moving into the sign of Leo, so healthy ego coming into play here. The ruler of Cancer is the moon, so parenthood and growth in that way and lessons in that way, passion and vitality. So the lunar holidays are called Espits, and the solar holidays are Sabbats. There's 8 solar holidays of the year. We, of course, have the equinoxes and solstices, which are very commonly celebrated, but the other 4, which are midsummer, midwinter, midfall, in between the seasons changing, are also Sabbats. So August 1st is halfway between summer and fall. It's called Lammas or Lunacid or Lunasa. Hang on a second. Got people in the waiting room. Let's see. There we go. Ardas is joining us. Welcome, welcome. So August 1st would be the next Sabbath coming up, and it's happening in this lunar cycle. It's the first harvest, traditionally celebrated by baking bread, wheat, harvesting the wheat, and just gathering together and feasting. We're really starting to see our gardens really blooming. I know a lot of us planted during the seed moon and are now really harvesting a lot. So August 1st is about the time of the first harvest, the first big harvest. So celebrating with feasts and gathering in community. a little traditional craft is making the corn husk dolls, which is fun to do with kids. And then the next Sabbath after the fall equinox, of course, is going to be Samhain or Halloween. So just kind of give you an idea of these 8 in the wheel of the year, the way the sun is divided into 8 instead of 12 like we traditionally have with our months. And there's actually 13 moons in a year in our traditional years, so kind of interesting. We've got the full moon in Capricorn coming up Friday, July 23rd. I know that that's the day that Keith's going to be flying back out here to Colorado. There's also a campsite reserved, just like every month during the summer. There's a campsite observed for the full moon. So for full moons, it's a good time. It's a high energy. We actually can tap into that full moon energy. We can stay awake longer. We can just do more things, get lots of things done. Whereas the new moon, which we're coming up on tonight and tomorrow, is a time to really conserve your energy and be sort of like more internal, going into your own little shell. And that's why we have these new moon meetings on Zoom, where they're less interactive with each other. They're more intuitive with your own self. So it's a really good time right now to be journaling and setting your intentions for the next cycle. So these meetings kind of give you some framework of something to maybe focus your attention on for the next month or month. But the full moons, you can gather, celebrate, go all out, have parties, stay up all night, do a lot of stuff. That's generally how the energy is working. So we call it's called the buck moon or the stag moon, thunder moon, full moon. You'll see a lot of the deer, the buck, are fighting this time. They're fighting for a mate. Who's the strongest? Who's the biggest? Who ate the most stuff and now is the strongest? So that's more of that father thunder energy we'll see in the coming month. So I want to introduce our guest, Hamilton, who is a brother. He has offered us a little discount with his Veterans Vitality CBD. He's a local to Maryland, but he's also been traveling a lot, I've noticed, which is great. But he does have a sound healing session coming up on Monday, this coming Monday at Zena, if you're on the Eastern Shore in Berlin, Maryland. And is there anything, Hammy, you want to share with us about what you've been up to? Before we dive in.
That's it. Right now, I just finished coming back to Maryland. I'm settling into my new place. So, other than that, I'm thankful that I'm starting to get some scheduled sessions in for groups. As the week will go by, I'll have other things posted up soon on my Instagram, where it's kind of the best place you can see where I'm doing everything right now, whether working with veterans or doing sound baths, yoga retreats, and more. As well as also just if you guys know anybody who is a veteran, families who are veterans, I work with a few nonprofit organizations that support veterans with building community and camaraderie, and also giving different modalities into the path of healing. And whether it be in meditation or breathing techniques, these two forms seem to be the most beneficial for people like that, and also just for anybody. So I'm just grateful to be here again. I'm just a young pup in the journey here, and I'm just grateful to be sharing space and breath with all y'all today.
That's beautiful. I love that you're just a young pup. I like to cultivate the beginner's mind, like not let the ego take over and like, oh, I'm an expert at this, anything ever, because that's the whole purpose of life. We're here to learn. There's not like, our experiences lead us to gain knowledge along the way, but that's beautiful. I love that. Humble hand.
I try to be every day, every step.
So he's Mindful Warrior _ Hammy on Instagram if you're not already following him. Okay, so the topic today I wanted to really dive deep into is breath work. It's part of the 8 limbs of yoga, of Ashtanga yoga. Ashta meaning 8, so 8 limbs of yoga. It's just right after asana, or the positions, is the breath. So it's really important in that ancient wisdom that we have of yoga. So the breath is part of our autonomic nervous system. It happens regardless of if we pay attention to it. And I actually had an experience one time when I was doing a group with senior citizens, leading them through breath work. I had one client that had never, ever controlled her breath. She'd always just let it be automatic. And that was like really mind-blowing for me at that time. But when we control the breath, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So just taking a deep breath. We can do that together, right? Just take a nice deep breath. I like to do a calming breath, just inhale through the nose, or releasing breath through the mouth. How nice that is, right? Like a sigh of relief, and you just feel like this weight relieving, your shoulders relaxing. What an awesome tool breath is to heal our body. So when we're asleep at night, we have this really slow, deep breath, and we get our body, the parasympathetic nervous system activates during sleep, but we can actually activate that any time of day through breath work and meditation. It immediately turns off the cortisol receptors. It lowers your stress and cortisol, your fight or flight mode. So your body can't heal, it can't digest, it can't regulate temperature if you're busy making cortisol, the stress hormone. So anytime you recognize that there's stress happening, you can turn to your breath. Little note, I just kind of like a personal insight about nose breathing versus mouth breathing. We're supposed to breathe through our nose. The purpose of our nose is to kind of filter our air. Whereas if we just breathe through our mouth, it's less, there's no filter there. It's not going through the sinuses and the hairs and all that, filtering. But I feel like there's like this masculine, feminine energy to nose breathing versus mouth breathing. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced that or noticed that. Whereas like nose breathing, it's good. It's like a more masculine approach, and getting into like higher forms of consciousness or meditation, sort of like out-of-body experiences. Whereas mouth breathing, we did that with the topic of Tantra. Mouth breathing is more of a feminine embodied practice. So you're getting more into the feelings, more into your body of what is happening physically here, rather than traveling or being on an astral plane with the nose breathing. I don't know if anyone else feel that way. Feel free to chime in, raise hand, chat, anything like that.
I see where you're coming from, Roma, with the where it sounds weird.
A little bit. I know you're on your headphones probably, huh? Mm-hmm. So I did just want to really focus on breath. Oh, I wasn't quite ready, but there's so many benefits of breath work. So we can increase our energy and stamina just by ridding the body of CO2. That carbon dioxide buildup can make us really sluggish and just kind of like, whereas if, I think we lost Kellen. Yeah, she's back. Okay, welcome, Kellen, back. So carbon dioxide can make us feel sluggish. There's some breath practices that will increase the oxygen. I was going to have us do one tonight together. That will really help with circulation and getting more oxygen in the blood. It boosts the immune system just by activating that parasympathetic nervous system, lowering the stress. We're going to heal more quickly and from injury and disease. Things like I notice like if we're healing and we're constantly watching television or letting that more stress triggers happen, it's really not going to help us heal. So we're working with that with Keith's mom right now. Let's see, getting her really relaxing to heal her body. It's great for our digestion, sleep. It kind of like different breaths do different things, and we'll talk about that on the next slide. The last two are really cool and kind of esoteric, more woo-woo, but you can actually release trauma and stored up emotions through breath, and that's getting into more of the mouth breathing, which we'll talk about with holotropic breath. And altered states of consciousness. You can actually release DMT and have these fully conscious experiences where you just get this boost of self-awareness, which helps you live a more full life. So many benefits. I couldn't even list them all. I'm sure there's and pain relief. You can use some breaths for pain. So why don't we practice some of these, okay? Just some quick little easy ones. You probably have had these in a yoga class before. I didn't make a thing about it, but just the releasing breath, where we're sitting comfortably, a nice deep inhale through the nose, and a releasing breath sign out the mouth. That's probably my favorite little breathwork thing I do all the time. I like to begin yoga classes with that and begin a lot of things with that releasing breath. A fun one for us, Bremari Breath or Bremari Breath is kind of fun. You're going to close your eyes, cover your ears, and hum. And it's vibrating your pituitary gland, and it can calm you. If you're really frustrated or angry or somebody's really annoying you, just try this. So let's try it together, okay? You really feel it vibrating in your nose, and you might tickle your nose a little bit. Notice how you feel. So try that one next time you're like frustrated with your partner or with something. If something's at work is stressful, try that one and let me know how you like it. Square breath is just equal parts inhale, hold, exhale, hold. That's just a good one to maybe do during a meditation if you're using a mala. To do I like to use mala and do breath practice where it's just inhale, hold the bead, exhale, hold the bead, inhale, hold the bead, exhale, hold the bead. And these malas are always 108 beads, so that's pretty much a good way to do like a 10-minute meditation with that square breath. That's how I usually use that breath. A cooling breath is really nice if you're hot, if you've been running, if you are just really excited. It can also be a good one for pain relief if you're having like a hot kind of pain, like a headache pain. You would just make your lips into an O and sip the air like you're sipping through a straw. You can feel that air gets cooled down in your mouth before it enters your body. So if you have some like a pain, like a headache, that's a good one. Or any kind of pain happening. Alternate nostril is one you may have been guided through in a yoga class. It's really good for balancing the energy sides of the body. If you're feeling like really indecisive, can't make decisions, you're like struggling with that kind of thing, it's a good idea to check in the breath and notice if you're breathing more strongly through one nostril than the other. Maybe one side's clogged up and more than the other. But what you would do is I start by plugging my left nostril, inhaling through the right, plugging both nostrils. This is like square breath, but alternate breathing. And exhale through the left. Then inhale through the left nostril. Hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Do this with me, please. Hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. Notice the airflow. Inhale right. Hold. Exhale left. Last time. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right. And come back to your regular breath. So someone once told me if you're stronger through one nostril than the other, like there's certain ailments that are associated with each side, and I don't know how well studied that is, but somebody told me if you're weaker on the left that you might have asthma, and I actually do have that thing. So even though my sinuses are open and clear, I can tell that the left side is weaker than the right, so. And I also heard in that same experience that if your right nostril is weaker, that you're more prone to diabetes. But I don't know I can't even remember who told me that at this point. So take that with a grain of salt. The Ujjayi breath is the ocean sounding breath. So it's kind of like fogging a mirror with your throat kind of constricted. So like that, but through your nose. It's sort of the opposite of the cooling breath. So if you're cold or you're just about to start like a workout and you want to really get some heat going up in the body, you would do that, kind of just engage your throat lock or your Vishuddha lock. I forget what this is called, the Jalandhari Bandha, the throat lock. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, we're getting that filtering, but you can hear it in the throat. You can feel the air going through the throat. See if you can get that Darth Vader breath going. And just paying attention to the breath, as this is our focus for this evening and this month, something to work on. So giving you these tools here. Notice if the breath feels warmer. I know it's very warm where we are, so maybe we're not doing this breath as often. But that's always a really nice one to go to. Also helps with that throat chakra, energizing the throat area. And my throat's really dry out here in Colorado. It's super dry. No humidity here. The last one is I wanted to include is Nollie Breath. There's many, many, many more breath techniques you can read about and practice all over the place, like 3-part breath, balloon breath, all kinds of little things. The Nollie Breath is kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys have been exposed to it or not. I know they do it at Metta Yoga sometimes up in Salisbury on the north end of town. It's a sort of like a kriya for cleansing the lower bowels. Yeah. Oh, I've seen Hammy. I've seen you do it on your Instagram, I think. You create this vacuum with your breath. So you're going to inhale, exhale. And on the exhale, instead of inhaling, you like close your throat and kind of pretend like your diaphragm is doing an inhale, but your throat is closed completely. You're not sucking any air in. And when you do that, the diaphragm lifts up. It creates a vacuum in the belly. So your belly actually sinks in. And from there, you can just start there with that vacuum breath and holding that. Or you can get into really like side to side. And I'm going to show you a quick video of what that looks like, this Nollie breath. It's part of the Panchakarma. When we had in February, our fasting moon was kind of all about cleansing and the body and detoxifying. And we had Cheryl talking. She was talking about Panchakarma. One of the ways of cleansing the body is through this Nollie breath. So can you guys see my screen with the video? Okay. You guys see that chick's belly all sucked in? Okay, good. It's really good for strengthening the abs too. This chick is really strong. There's a link in the notes of resources, a more guided way to how to get to this practice. You can't necessarily, you're probably not going to do it the first try, okay? But there's levels. If you go to this link here in the how-to below on this slide, it's like a 10 or 15 minute video, and she kind of introduces it to you in different steps. So you can just work on step 1 for a few days, maybe get up to step 2, and eventually get to that sort of side-to-side obliques and undulating with your belly. And so for the purpose of cleansing the lower bowels and strengthening the abs. That would be the purpose there. My favorite breath to practice, and I do it every day, it's part of the Tibetan 5 rites of rejuvenation. It's part of Kundalini practices, the breath of fire. They call it the ego eradicator. And we have the goddess Ardas on here today, who I took the Kundalini class with this week, and we did this breath together. It was very nice. It's called Kapalabhati, or skull shining. It's another one of the Panchakarma, the 5 ways of cleansing the body. So there's some that are kind of weird, like swallowing a cloth and then like throwing it up just to like cleanse your, that's kind of a gross. And then there's like enemas, but this skull shining is a way of clearing your nostrils, along with neti pot and the Nollie Kriyas. So those are the 5 Panchakarma. This one is very energizing. It's going to clear out all the carbon dioxide. When you get too much carbon dioxide, it makes us sleepy, and you can actually get carbon dioxide poisoning. What happens if you have like a gas going off in your room or something, you can't really smell it, you just get built up carbon dioxide, and you get really sleepy and lethargic, and you could even die from that kind of poisoning. So just having any amount of carbon dioxide in our lungs is kind of draining on the body. So when we do this, we're getting rid of that, and we're bringing new oxygen in, fresh oxygen. So it's very energizing. I know it's 8 p.m. on a new moon, and we're not probably feeling like being super energized, but let's go ahead and practice this together. We'll do just 1 minute if everybody's on board with that. And this one's going to be best done sitting up. Okay, so sitting in a chair or on the floor, however you want. And we're just going to kind of feel that with the awareness of, what is this breath practice? What is happening in my body? How do you, because oftentimes we'll do it as part of another practice, part of the yoga practice, but we're not recognizing how the breath is specifically. So It's going to be very strong exhales using your diaphragm. So kind of like, but through your nose. So maybe have a tissue handy. You're going to be like blowing a candle out with your nose. And you'll do that real strong exhale, and the inhale just happens naturally as the diaphragm falls down. So you're really focusing on push, 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 pushing the air out. And we're going to do 108 of these. I'll kind of, or actually I'm going to put a timer on. When I practice by myself, I count to 108, and that's about a minute. But for now, in case I want to talk, I'm just going to get you guys going. Releasing breath through the mouth. And about a halfway inhale through the nose. And begin. If you want to do like in the picture with your thumbs up, that's great. Creating that sort of donut shape, that toroid shape. You're going to see your belly go in and out. Halfway there. Focus on strength, not speed, okay? Ten seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Hold it out. Hold it out as long as you can. Notice the vacuum of wanting to inhale. And when you can't hold it anymore, go ahead and inhale. Retain that breath. Hold it at the top of the lungs. Really fill your belly, fill your chest, fill your ribs. Relax your shoulders. Maybe you feel like a swirling sensation. Suck in a little bit more air. A little bit more. Really feeling that fullness of breath. And releasing. Just close the eyes and notice how you feel. Maybe noticing some tingling. Oh my goodness. Did you guys hear that? That thunder? Oh, it's beautiful. So that breath alone is usually pretty energizing. Anyone else have some feelings after that little 1-minute breath practice? So the next couple we're gonna try last a little bit longer. Feel free to chat or chime in. Oh, Ileana, I'm just seeing what is the link for the, what are you looking for, the Nollie, how to on the Nollie breath? Is that what you were wanting? Oops. Well, I don't think I can copy and paste it from the presentation right now, so I'll just include that later. Okay, thanks. Anyone else do Breath of Fire regularly? I know our DOS does with Kundalini, Hammy. Yeah. Anyone else practicing the 5 rites daily or with frequency? I think Heather was or is. Okay. Yeah, our DOS, of course. Okay. The ice breath, the Iceman, Wim Hof, he has this breath practice that is sort of like a gateway, I think, to the holotropic breath. But I'm really new to this, and I've never taken an ice bath. I've taken cold showers, but I've never really done it with breath work. Anyone I know, I've seen Hammy getting in that ice bath. Maybe Hamilton, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with ice bath or this breath technique?
Of course. So, I started taking ice baths probably as young as like 7, 8 years old. My dad played a lot of soccer as a kid. He was basically like a really like a good athlete, and recovery is the most important thing for athletes. And through recovering from soccer practice or taekwondo, my sore back and legs, ice baths or cold showers is what my dad would recommend. So I started doing it from a young age, and the breathing is honestly the hardest part at first, and then once you start into the practice of mindful breathing, right, whether you're doing the sympathetic breathing, which is like the mouth breathing, or just any breathing, but like why I really like the Wim Hof, because it just really can accelerate the individual into sparking your inner strength, you know. I always tell people, if you want to experience what it is to experience the cold for the first time, like add 10 seconds at the end of your shower. Like just add 10 seconds and keep increasing those 10 seconds until it becomes 30 seconds, and those 30 seconds ends up becoming a minute. Not necessarily saying that we all need to jump in the cold bath, but cold shower might be, opening of that gateway. Other than that, it never anytime you get back into that cold bath, right, and when you're starting to experience those first 60 seconds, it can be a little almost painful because the body wants to get out, because the autonomic system is like, I don't want to do this. But when we start controlling the breath, hence breath control, pranayama, we start controlling everything in the body. And after 2 minutes being in the water, your body starts releasing endorphins. The epinephrines are releasing from the adrenal glands. Now everything from the kidneys is being pumped through the body, and we're literally feeding the natural energy in our body. So it's what, as they say, like Wim Hof says, get higher in your own supply. Like you're literally feeling all these beautiful chemicals and endorphins being released at will by the power of your breath, with a little bit of environmental exposure.
Wow. So what's the time? What's the longest time someone can do that? Or like, I know I read on, and I've been reading on Wim's website, like it's not a competition, but like, what is the typical? Because I think you advertise it in as like pounds of ice. Is it colder? It was like one bag of ice. It's colder with two bags of ice.
Yeah, if you start with just a bag of ice is 20 pounds. That's the best way to kind of start to get it over with. But like, once you start breaking like 60, 80 pounds, 100 pounds of ice, like you're now hitting like 30 degrees, 28 degrees. That's like extreme now. Like once you start getting under 32 degrees, because anything under 32 degrees is considered freezing. So like in the winter, I would leave a giant pool outside, and I just get into it like in the middle of December. But anywhere between 30 seconds to 60 seconds is recommended for the first person that's ever gonna try it. Like in a real bath, like 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Some people could do 2 minutes, other people could do almost 3 minutes. But is it recommended to push it that much your first time? It probably not, because everything in baby steps, everything in just smaller quantities, especially when you're exposing yourself to such an extreme thing, because when we think about this, some people think this is very extreme, but the idea is it's very traditional in many cultures. In indigenous cultures, they grab children as young as like 6 months, and they'll take them outside and roll them in the snow just so they can get exposed to the cold. In Russia, kids like in preschool and middle school are taking naps outside in the cold so they can get used to the exposure of cold. So it's just interesting to see that it's being used in this method, but naturally in other places in the world, it's just it's a daily practice.
Is this something that women should do? I know it's like recommend, like the purpose of it is for sports cut recovery, like reducing pain or healing injuries in the body. But I mostly see men doing it.
I from the research that I've seen and that I also understand is like, let's take the instance that the two biggest things before COVID, right, was respiratory failure and cardiovascular failure. If you don't have a whole hour to go to the gym or a whole hour to practice yoga, 15 minutes or just the 5 minutes that you got to practice some breathing, then you get in that body of water. That's your super jump start. Because the point of why professional athletes, regardless of sex, why they're doing these trainings is because how you train is how well do you recover. So this practice is a great form of recovery. Pranayama or any techniques that we use are a great form of recovery. So the more we can help increase the oxygen intake and decrease the carbon dioxide, this is healing. Like this is what we're reaching. You know, because the idea of when someone gets out of a training regimen, why is the body so sore? Well, you just released ATP energy. To produce ATP energy, you need to have oxygen enriched blood. To have oxygen enriched blood, you must either eat oxygen enriched food or increase by oxygen intake, which 70% of toxins get released through the breath. So that little 15 minutes of your practice in your day would be more beneficial to you than, say, going to the gym for 2 hours. Like those 15 minutes of concentrated breath, getting in that water, getting all the juices, the blood flowing, the lymphatic system is cleansing. I think it's very beneficial for both people of the sexes. But also take in consideration if you suffer from epilepsy, seizure, or any high blood pressure, do seek professional help first before getting into that cold body of water. Because again, you have to know what's going on with the body before you get involved with different practices.
Right, and even the breath practice alone, it comes with some warnings. Like you should never, because so this breath practice, the tutorial he has online, it's 11 minutes long, and I thought we would do at least 2 rounds of it, so like 2 thirds of it. So would you say like the ice bath, a big component of it is the breath?
Yeah, exactly, because like the first thing, even before I discovered who Wim Hof was in 1998, I discovered who Wim Hof was because I saw him on Guinness Book of World Records, just doing what he was doing. I'm like, this guy is amazing. Like, I want to learn what he's doing. And at that time, I think I was like 8, 9 years old, right? 99, 90, 98. Um, and now what I see and understand is that like the breathing, the control. It's all about how well can you slow it down. Because once he's in the water, he's not doing the breathing techniques like that, right? Once he's done it and then he gets into the water, he's just, it's like that meditation of, I'm not trying to let my breath get excited. I'm trying to control that excitement. I'm trying to contain it. I'm trying to keep it centered in peace. Now, when you get out of the water, that's when he does more of the breathing techniques to energize the body, move everything through the system to get it flowing. So there's really a beautiful part of activating the parasympathetic than activating the sympathetic system. Because again, pranayama could be like the ocean. It could be strong like ocean waves or as gentle as the ocean mist.
All right, so even though we don't have an ice bath waiting for us, and we're gonna try this breath. And Hemi, when I first did this, I was just kind of breathing in through my nose, in and out through my nose. They don't really specify nose or mouth. Do you recommend the mouth?
So traditionally, when it is to the Wim Hof, right? Wim Hof says this word because people ask like, why are we breathing through the mouth? Isn't it considered hyperventilating? The term that he likes to use, and is being used through the universities where he's studying, is that they're calling it they're just huffing. They're huffing air. So like the idea is that you're breathing in. It's always going to be through the mouth doing Wim Hof practice. So it's quite similar to the same as holotropic breath work or other forms of, there's different words for it, but again, the mouth breathing and nose breathing, two different forms of energy. So it's again talking to that same form of like that emotional energy, that feminine energy, because at the end of the day, being masculine or feminine, we carry both energies, and to tap into the feelings, we have to tap into that feminine energy. So to tell you the truth, honestly, the first people I see cry when it comes to breathwork, men, every time. Men cry every time because the society says I'm tough, I'm big and strong, but then they start breathing, and next thing you know, their body's shaking, they're quivering, they're crying, they're releasing. It's the inner child that needs to heal, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. So what it is, it's going to be 30 in and out, I guess through the mouth. And it's rapid and equal, he'll guide us. And then it's going to be exhale and hold for a minute. Now just do it as long as you can. Try to relax the body, try to slow the heartbeat. But if you need a breath in, go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start the practice. And we're listening to his voice.
Relax to the deepest. Lie down, sit down, whatever it is, relax.
Everybody hear it okay?
Are you ready? Here we go. Round number 1. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Go with the flow of the breath. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circle. Pulling in and letting go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. Ten more. Pulling in, letting go. Five more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. Put in and let go. All right. 1 minute breath hold from now on. Be in this moment. Let the body do what the body is capable of doing. Be aware of your heartbeat. Slow it down and just be in this moment. Let that relaxation spread down to your toes, into your fingertips, to the base of your neck and head. You are almost there. Do you want to prolong your breath hold? Pause the video now and continue when you feel the urge to breathe. Okay, recovering breath in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in and hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Round number 2. Back into that rhythm. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circle. Pulling in, and letting go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. In with peace, out with stress. Ten more. Pulling in, letting go. Nice, deep, circular breaths. 5 more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. Pull in. And on the exhale, stop. 1.5 minutes. Breath hold from now on. Feel. Become aware of your body. If your hands and feet are tingling, or you feel your body temperature is changing, that's okay. You're doing fantastic. If you need to breathe before I give the cue, that's okay. You are almost there. Do you want to prolong your breath hold? Pause the video now and continue when you feel the urge to breathe. When you are ready, fully in and hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Round number 3. Back into that breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In with the relaxation, out with the stress. In, out. In, out. In, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circle. Fully in and letting go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. In with peace, out with stress. 10 more. Fully in, letting go. Nice, deep, circular breaths. 5 more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. Fully in. And on the exhale, stop. 1.5 minutes. Breath hold from now on. Become aware of the blood running through your veins, your heart beating. Feel. Thirty seconds left. You You are almost there. Do you want to prolong your breath hold? Pause the video now and continue when you feel the urge to breathe. Alright. Breathe in and hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Let your breathing return to normal as you finish up the round. Move your body bit by bit, starting with your fingers and your toes. Let your breathing normalize. If you like this guided breathing session, we have more for you. We got a free app on our website. Download it. It's good stuff. Thanks for your time.
Right. Any thoughts, feelings on that? I know I felt like I wanted to hold my breath longer after the exhale. In fact, I had to take a breath in before he said to, and I was able to hold it longer than the 15 seconds. Especially that third round, the 15 seconds felt like not enough time at all. I also felt really warm during the second round when he said to inhale, and we were holding the breath. I got really hot, like hot. Anything else? Anyone else? Oh, cool. I mean, like, went to a different room and everything.
Right on.
Warm and tingly, Ashley felt. Definitely, I felt tingly. I loved his cues. The cue he says in the first round, feel your heartbeat, and then slow your heartbeat. It's kind of cool how you can actually control your heartbeat. We don't think of the heartbeat as being something we can control. But I did feel that after that cue, my heart started to beat more slowly with that intention. Anyone else? My mouth feels really dry from all the mouth breathing. 3 rounds. So I've seen some YouTube videos that'll do guided breath similarly and have like 3-minute. I think the longest I held was not even a minute and a half. It was like 1 minute 20 seconds or something like that. Yeah. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about birthing breath because I don't know a lot about it, but the whole Lamaze breath for when you're giving birth, and all that bearing down and all that, it's a breathwork practice that's there for a reason, and it can help with pain and help with birthing a baby. So like you can see how profound breathwork can be. I kind of made some notes on this slide so that it'll be available for later. And then I linked to where I got that information. Me not having ever had given birth, I don't know a lot about it, or I would love to be a doula and learn more about that stuff, but I just think it's awesome that we can use our breath for that level of pain and rebirthing. So holotropic breath is sometimes called rebirthing breath. So you're using your breath to birth yourself. And typical, like traditionally, as I understand through my research in setting up this presentation, holotropic breath typically is practiced for like 2 to 3 hour sessions. So nothing we're gonna be able to cover today in this session, but hopefully you got kind of a feel for that with the Wim Hof technique. The word holotropic means moving towards wholeness. Apparently, typically there's one guide and one breather. You'll see I found a lot of my information on shamanic websites, that also offer like ayahuasca treatments and do the holotropic breath in conjunction with ayahuasca. I don't know if maybe Honey, you can speak to that or what your experience is with holotropic breath, because I'd love to learn more about that.
So like the information you already have here, like the Wim Hof method is really just experiencing that practice. Once you put in those 11 minutes and then you sit in your meditation, next thing you know, you're gonna be chilling for like 15 minutes, total minutes of 20 minutes, from the moment you've done that 11 minutes and then you just in your meditation. That's like a nice little good practice. But this whole holotropic breath idea is doing it for a lot longer. And I personally never done it longer than a 2-hour session. I have friends who've done it 8-hour sessions. And like the idea behind it is as well is that you're also showing up in a fasted state. You're just not showing up after after a night at Arby's with your friends at a diner. Like you're going through a fasted state, which is already increasing the system of the body by its purity, in the sense of like the breath is already being a lot cleansed, right? Everything in the system is cleansed. So what we're doing is we're triggering the release of the dimethyltryptamine, which is what they call the spirit molecule. So if you do the Wim Hof practice deep enough with enough intensity, you can feel that tingliness increase. Some people can even hear frequencies and sounds come into the ears. When you're doing it for this long, it becomes a whole outer body experience. It's the psychedelic experience without the psychedelics. So in the reference of like, I come from a lot of working with plants, but like what I bring to the table is that same idea, is between sound and breathing, we can help allow people to have a transformative experience then and there, and it's up to you to see how you can experience that. It could be the 15 minutes in Wim Hof, or it could be a very intense session with holotropic breathwork.
And I think I understand there's usually music with holotropic breath.
Yeah, it says music, as it says right here, we played repetitive music with a drum beat or a heartbeat. And the idea behind the drum too is that it's a very it's a somatic it's the idea behind somatics is that it's working on a very subtle level. The repetitive sound of the drum or frequencies are going to help the body trigger deeper states of relaxation, where when we're breathing, we're activating the sympathetic nervous system, but once we start decreasing all the sensations, we're reaching that deep delta brainwave where some people might be crying at the end of the session, some people might be knocked out sleeping, because that's what the body needed. So it's a very beautiful experience, to each their own in their own practice.
I feel like we're going to start seeing more and more breath work workshops popping up. We have seen a lot of sound healing and like 1-hour sound sessions lately in the past couple of years, and now I could see like half-day retreats or 90-minute 3-hour sessions where it's like sound and breath work. I would love to see that in this fall. Even like when I come back, would be awesome if we could all gather in person. I don't know if maybe Kellen, you're in Arizona. Do they do anything like that now that COVID's over and people are meeting in person? I know Phoenix is more progressive than where most of us are from over on the Maryland. Or even Hammy, do you know of anyone doing those kind of sessions?
I haven't attended any here in Arizona yet. I've been kind of reaching out to some different, mostly drum circles recently. So I haven't been going to the studios so much because of COVID, but I will certainly be on the lookout nowadays, after this presentation.
I have some friends in Nevada. His name is Damon D'Amato, and he just had like a 5-hour breathwork session, and he has this whole playlist with it. But that's like the only person that I know out west kind of doing that. I know in California there's a lot of interesting people getting these sessions in there too. But like Roma was saying, on our side of here on the eastern coast, we're just starting to introduce people into sound and Kundalini yoga and so many other things, that I really feel that breath work is going to be like that new thing of gathering people together, which is going to be great.
Yeah, and we'll get out of the 60-minute class format. All right, I think the only thing I have next is, I just have this slide up because I know it's your spirit animal, Hemi, and just to give us something to look at. I was just gonna let you kind of take over with your shamanic sounds and your guidance, and have everyone else just kind of get comfortable and relax for this little journey. Sound good? I think maybe he is adjusting some things.
Hold on, Rama. My mic just fell off. I'm just gonna set that up.
And I found this artwork. I link it in the resources as well. It's very beautiful.
Okay, so. All right. So welcome everybody, and we're gonna do a few rounds of this breathing technique that I'm gonna introduce y'all to, and I hope you can see me, but it's more of just listening. We just can really listen with our ears and visualize with our eyes closed. So it's up to you to find the most comfortable position. What we're gonna do first is, if you wish to stay seated, align the spine, tall, roll the shoulders back and down. And if you wish, you can also lay down and relax the knees by bending them, helping flatten the small of the back. And we're just gonna go through a few rounds of just cleansing the breath first, so we could get grounded. Breathing into the belly as you inhale through the nose. Imagining the chamber in the belly filling up with air as you expand the breath in the hip and the belly. And opening the mouth, exhaling through the mouth. Inhale through the nose one more time, filling up the belly. Expand the hip, the belly fills up with air. Exhale through the mouth. Good. No judgment or fear. Breathing into the belly again. Stick the tongue out as you exhale. Now I know that's still air to be released from the gut, deep from the roots. Now we're going to breathe into two chambers. Inhale through the nose. Fill up the belly, the ribs expand west to east. Exhale, letting go. Again, breathe in through the nose, the hip, the belly into the ribs. Letting go. Three parts. Fill up the belly, the rib, to the upper chest. Hold at the top. Exhale, letting go. Long exhalation. Now continue this rhythm. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale long. So this is the rhythm, this is the method we're going to use. We're going to begin with the first round. 3 breaths. Filling up the belly, ribs, heart even to the head. Beginning with the first round. Inhale. Reach the top. Exhale, let it go. Continue breathing in. Letting go. Third and final breath. Inhale all the way up. Hold at the top. Seeping the air out gently like steam. Slow till you empty the body, empty the lungs, empty the mind. And just witness. Observe the heart slow down, the blood moving through the veins, the energy flowing throughout every cell in the body. Second round, 6 breaths. Inhale, begin. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, long, steady breath. No fear, no judgment in your home. Breathe it in. Continue. Halfway there. Feeling the heart all the way to the head, filling up, letting go. 2 more. Inhale all the way to the bottom of the spine, up to the top. Hold. Let it go. Empty. Empty the lungs, empty the body, empty the mind. Observe. Get out of the mind and into the body. Activating all 70 trillion cells in the body. Increasing our frequency, cleansing our spirit. Releasing what no longer serves. Third and final round, 9 breaths. Begin. It's not about how much can you breathe in, how much can I allow myself to let go. Long exhalation. Activate the cells. Finishing up on your third to 2 more rounds. One more. Hold at the top. Seeping the air out. Be still and empty the mind, empty the body. Witness. Witness the body. Getting out of the mind, into the body, to the heart center. Observing the place underneath the heart, the solar plex, where our power flows into the diaphragm. Allow your spirit to guide you, and to relax the breath now, if you will, and just be a witness. Be a witness to the cells, to the breath of life. to the vibrations that surround you, that are within you. Taking these moments to just reflect on the breath, for showing up today to be a witness to the self, through the self, to know thyself. Witnessing the breath. Witnessing spirit. Placing one hand over the navel, another hand on the upper chest. Allow us to draw in this breath of life. Inhaling through the nose. Bring that energy swirling into the belly. Expanding into the ribs, the upper chest. Feel that wave move through you. And exhale, letting go through the nose or the mouth. Notice the shoulders fall. Notice the breath release. 2 more times, breathe it in. Join me for audible sigh of a feel the vibration in the chest, in the throat. 1 more. And distilling all these beautiful energies allow us to tap into the humming effect, to create that humming sound. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Allow us to feel the vibration of ourselves, harmonize with the vibration of our sound. This is our own sound medicine to carry with us. Inhale. Just being a witness in the here and the now with the breath. We can't see the breath, but we can feel the breath. Be a witness to that. The Latin word for breath is spiritum, spirit. The breath is just like spirit. We cannot see it, but we can feel it. Allow yourself to just tap into this heart-centered area, feeling our heart, and grounding yourself in today with this practice and this education and expansion of knowledge as we create the yoga with our body, mind, and spirit in a daily practice, day by day, step by step, breath by breath. Bringing the hands to the heart center, pressing them together in prayer pose, or the hand over the heart, Let's give a gentle bow to the self, honoring ourselves for showing up today, for investing in our health and our wealth. And you're sending out special thanks for Roma for having this amazing group here to just create and connect no matter where we are in the world, to just share and to hold space and to share breath. Thank you all for those that showed up today. Most importantly, thank you all for showing up for yourself. From my heart to your heart, namaste.
Oh, thank you so much, Brother Hemi.
You're welcome. Gratitude.
I really felt, again, I felt warmth and in the breath holds. I actually held longer than you said because I really wanted to explore that. And during that hold, I felt almost like I was going to pass out, but then I started to feel like really like expansion in my chest, like as if my body was like a foot in front of my body. That's what I
There
felt.
you go. And it's like you're working on the kosha levels, you know, there's the gross body, the mental body, the prana body, and like what we're doing is expanding that spirit, getting out of the fear of the mind and expanding the heart level of consciousness. So it's funny that you said like right here you felt like a foot is expanding from your heart, you know, because this is where
I felt that right then you said expanding your heart. I was like, I was like right there.
beautiful, beautiful.
It was almost like a door was open, and that's how I felt. It was almost painful at first, and I heard like maybe I heard my blood rushing or something, like you said, the sound frequencies. I heard something, and then I just felt the opening, and I felt like I could hold it for longer at that moment.
Jai, blessings to you. That's an awesome, awesome experience.
Yeah, I definitely want to do more. I want to go deeper. I want to do a 2 or 3 hour workshop. I want to really learn some more stuff. This was just a
Yeah,
lovely
well,
taste.
it, for sure. Well, it's always great to connect and to share. And whenever you're back here, let me know. We'll go to the beach, get the drums out. We'll set up out there, and we'll just get some good medicine.
Oh, that'd be awesome to do maybe on Labor Day because I'll be back. And I have that day off and I have a campsite on Labor Day Monday. Maybe we could do
Right
something on
on. Beautiful. I
that.
love the picture you put up too. Great. Did everyone else do well? I
Yeah,
hope
how's
everyone
it?
enjoyed their session today with everything you got to learn, everything we got to share.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I'll be posting this here shortly, the PDFs in the Moon Circle group, as well as on my website on Roma Nomad. And if you want to support me in any way, you can subscribe to the newsletter, like and follow, and all that. There's a Venmo link um, on the screen, and you also have it there. It's at Roma Nomad or on PayPal, however you want to donate. And also, Hammy, if you want to share yours in the chat, um, share your like Venmo if anyone feels like tipping Hammy for wonderful guidance. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to seeing what things you're going to be adding to your schedule because I know you're in the process of doing that when I spoke to you earlier today. Monday is definitely on there on the schedule for Zena. And that's, is it $30 for the hour session on at Zena?
Yeah, so Zena Wellness, I'm covering for Chrissy because she'll be in Oregon, and the second Monday of this month I'll be covering for her, and I will be there on Monday the 12th, 7 p.m. I'll be holding the space for the sound at Zena Wellness, and if no one's ever been there before, it's a little tricky getting there, so make sure you reach out to myself or to anyone at the studio, and we can direct you how to get there. And then, other than that, it's one of the best studios that has a lot of huge space, part of the biggest space I've seen on the Eastern Coast. So there's definitely a lot of room if anyone's still feeling a little nervous about getting near others or whatnot. But this is one of the best studios that I see that has like very large amount of space. Um, But yeah, other than that, stay tuned. If you follow me on my Instagram, I'll be posting my schedule for the rest of the summer and the events that I'll be holding between Maryland and other places on the eastern coast, from New Jersey to Florida.
Cool. All right, so the next we'll be meeting on the nesting moon. Topic is wild crafting, so I'm going to share some herbal remedies, some herbal recipes that you can make on your own, herbs that you can wild forage, and things you can do with them at home, making salves, tea, tinctures, juicing them. So it's going to be like wild crafting is the topic for this month. I don't have a guest, but it's kind of a lot to cover, and it's gonna be chock full of recipes, and that's my plan for next month. So I'll still be in Colorado, and hope to see you guys there. So I didn't get your PayPal or Venmo, but maybe we can add that to the group later or to the event if you have a way to tip you.
Yeah. Oh, here. This is my Venmo. I put my email, but this is easier for my Venmo at Hamilton Garces. That's my direct Venmo. So thank you.
Okay, great. Oh, there it is. The email I see now. I will add that to the slides. There's a few more things I'm going to add to the slides for when I post it that just kind of came up after the fact. So yeah, be sure to check that out later. And everybody, I'm going to stop the recording right now. As soon as I can figure out how to do that. Stop the share and stop the recording.